Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the nerdiest competition ever created by the Language of Bromance team. In this corner, obsessed with Star Wars and anything with swords, Richard! And in this corner, obsessed with the Ninja Turtles and scared of anything from the ocean, Shawn! Brought to you as a Pod Bros exclusive in association with the LOB Army. Tonight's competition is a Language of Bromance draft.
What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Shawn.
And we are once again speaking the language of Bromance. Because we, Shawn, I don't know if you know this, but the day's going to come when we are going to die.
I know, it scares me. But Richard, today, so to honor our death, what we're going to do is we're going to do the bucket list draft, bitches! Woo!
The bucket list draft.
Yes, Richard. So for the 33rd time, we are going to do the Language of Bromance draft. And if you don't know, and you should, what it is it's a 7-round NFL-style draft where Richard and I flip-flop picks back and forth. Back in the day, we flipped a penny to see who gets to go first, and I won. So on odd drafts, I go first. On even drafts, Richard goes first. And since this is an odd draft, I get the first pick.
You do. Now, this is the bucket list draft. These are the things we want to do before we die.
Yeah, on our deathbed, we don't want to say, oh, I wish I would have done something. And I'll probably say that anyway. It's like, I wish I would have done something with my life. Here, kids.
But instead,
here, kids, on these flash drives is all my podcast, all my work. Like, oh, thanks, Grandpa.
Yeah, and your kids are going to be like, what's a flash drive?
Yeah.
Put it in the cloud, old man.
I'm going to be like, oh. I'm like, oh, he's dead. Okay, throw it in the trash. Wait. My last thing I'm seeing is them throwing away my work in the trash.
Yep.
Oh.
Wow. Way to bring the room down.
Pick number 1, better grandkids. But I thought you could mention, so we talked about doing a story about a guy who was trying to outrun the cops.
Yes, there was, oh God, now I wish I had that story in front of me. Yes, there was a man, well, I remember the headline. There was a guy who led police on a high-speed chase through, down the highway, like, that old, like the shit you see in movies, the high-speed chase. And they finally catch him, and they ask him, why the hell were you going on a high-speed chase? And his response was, because it's on my bucket list.
The next question they ask, like, well, is there anything else on your bucket list? Like, oh, yeah, tons of stuff. Well, it's like, well, too bad you'll never do it because you're going to spend the rest of your life in jail.
And he's like, hey, go to jail. That's on here.
One more off my list.
You guys are the best.
Is a butt rape on there? No? Oh, well.
It should be.
All right, Richard. So for my first round pick, a lot of times whenever I've actually never done a bucket list in my life because I kind of feel like I'm more of a live in the now kind of guy.
You know what? I have never done a bucket list either. I've never actually sat and said, what are some things that I would like to do before it ends? And okay, do you not want to do a bucket list because you feel like you were acknowledging your mortality?
I think the reason I don't want to do one is more because if you get to the point, especially if it's very like in your face, if you get to the point where you haven't crossed things off, like I would feel like less fulfilled.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. But I think that's the point, isn't it? Isn't that the point?
To kind of force you, I guess not really force you, but to push you into doing these things.
Right.
But I mean, some of these things I may not get to ever do, but we'll see.
You'll do them all. We do them together.
Yeah, well, no, spoiler alert, Richard.
This could be so we do this draft. And then we could have a string of episodes where we finish the shit on our bucket list.
That's a good podcast idea.
That is a good podcast idea.
Write that down. I'm gonna edit that part out so nobody steals it. I'm looking at you, Steve. All right, so my first round pick, Richard. A lot of times people have like on their bucket list like meet certain people. You know, I want to meet so and so because they've been inspirational in my life and everything. And
Okay.
I would have had this on my list if we hadn't have already met him. And that person's Kevin Smith, right?
Right.
You know, he's kind of been I guess I'd say an inspiration for me to do certain things, and always seems like a cool dude. You know, they always say don't meet your heroes, but Kevin Smith, even if he's not being fully sincere, like I felt like he cared about everything I said when we talked to him.
I felt, you always get that sense if you meet somebody that, has a modicum of celebrity to them. You always wonder, oh, is that person being genuine?
Yeah.
But I over the time I've listened to podcasts of his or seen him do Q&As or anything, I really feel like he is 100% genuine when he is interested, or when he's talking to people and he sounds interested in what they have to say. And it could be a complete ruse that has fooled me 100%.
Could be.
But I will say that I feel like he is genuine when he seems interested.
We talked to him for a good 5-6 minutes. And it wasn't a paid thing, so it wasn't like a VIP thing he was not getting anything out of us talking to him besides two jokers trying to chit chat with him. And we even almost forgot to take a picture. We did. Hey, we just want to, tell you how great you are. And I'm sure you've heard all this a million times, but we need to tell you from us how great we think you are.
Yeah.
But so I've already kind of crossed that off if I had that on my bucket list. So my first round pick, Richard, is something that I think you and I both would enjoy. And it would be to do a podcast with not only Richard, but with Richard and Kevin Smith.
Yes. And you know what? There was a version of that was on my list. So I'm going to go ahead and cross that one off.
I feel like if I...
And call that a steal.
I know they do like if adults have like, some kind of disease or something, or they're going to die, they'll do like kind of the Wish for Kids type thing, but they do it for adults.
Yeah.
And mine would be like hookers and beer. And they'd be like, well, we can't do that. Your wife is standing in the room. Like, oh, well, I guess I'll do a podcast with Richard and
Babe,
Kevin
close
Smith.
your eyes.
This is going to happen. But I think I'd be like, I would love to do a show with, Kevin Smith just because, I would hope I wouldn't fanboy out too much because I think to just have a legit conversation with him would be a lot of fun.
I would call it like a long, like what I had written was have a long form interview.
I don't even know if I'd want it to be an interview. I'd want it to be
I mean, I guess I say interview, but I'm not really thinking when I say long form interview, I guess I mean just more of a conversation about everything or about a lot of things. And it doesn't really matter where it goes.
Like my dream show with him would be like, we find that perfect story that you and I would love to do a show on. And we just get him in there to be the third piece to it. And we riff off each other like we do.
And
like,
just make him laugh.
Yes. Like to have so I've talked about this before. When I went to one of his Q&As, I took my mother-in-law. And I legitimately felt like he actually laughed at this, but I'm standing up there and I'm like, hey, I brought my mother-in-law. And he's like, you brought your mother-in-law to this? I'm like, yeah. As I get further into the Q&A with him, I'm like, oh, so, I just to let you know how cool she is, like I went to see Tusk with her. And he's like, your wife? I'm like, no, my mother-in-law. And he laughs on stage. He's like, hey, I don't want to be the crux here or anything, but I think you might have married the wrong woman. And I think just to have that kind of bounce back and forth like we do with him would just be a lot of fun. And one of those things, like you'd have the audio thing of it. And it's not like I'd want that just because, oh, hey, that might spike up our numbers. And be like, no,
just to have it.
Yeah, because that'd be something cool. Be like, you could show your kids or your grandkids. Be like, oh, there's this director, that your grandpa or your dad like really really like was inspired by that he got to talk to. And I just think that'd be an awesome thing. That's one of those like there's episodes that you and I do. I go back and listen to, just because they give me that kind of like warm fuzzy feeling. And this would be one of those that'd be great. Just you're having that bad day or. I'm on my deathbed. I'm like, oh, kids, like, don't talk to me. Let's listen to this podcast. But for my first round pick, I would do a podcast with Richard and Kevin Smith.
Yeah, That's a good one. That's because I mean, and like you said, like just a chit chat and feel to be like, hey, this is what we do, and a laugh will almost be like a stamp of approval. It's like the equivalent of it's like the equivalent of like your dad patting you on the back and saying he's proud of you.
I think the thing,
I mean, I don't know if you know this, Shawn, but sometimes when your father is proud of you, he'll say, I'm proud of you.
Oh, usually I always thought my dad was proud of me. He's like, Laura, kids wearing dresses again.
I am never proud of this boy. Do you know that, Laura?
Oh, he said it again. He doesn't mean it. It's opposite day, isn't it, Dad? There's no such thing as opposite day.
God damn it.
I kind of make it like, to me, because I wouldn't want to just do like an interview, because I feel like that would be kind of just him doing service for us.
Sure.
It was that show where we're riffing on each other, like doing a story, making something up. It almost feel like, and it wouldn't be true whatsoever, but I feel like in that moment, like in that hour and a half, like it was almost like he's actually our friend. And I think that would be the closest we could ever get to being like friends with Kevin Smith, would be in that like hour and a half window.
Yeah.
Because, after that, he's probably not going to remember it or anything, but, it's be like, oh, in that moment, we connected.
He was us.
Yeah.
And we were him. And we were three.
And yeah, I'm glad you said the last part, because otherwise it sounded creepy. We're one with Kevin Smith.
We're like the Charm Sisters, but we're all dudes. Okay. So I'm looking at my list. I'm trying to think what I should pick first. Okay, I've got one. Okay. So for my first pick, this is something that I don't know if this would be something that it's that whole, I'd love to, show my kids this one day, or I'd love to, I think I would just want it for the entire experience of it, and then to have a record of that experience. Shawn, for my first pick, I would like to be in a movie and have screen time in that movie, like a big budget movie,
like just to like be in a scene.
Yes, I would like to be in a scene of a movie, and to show how unlofty my goals are. Like, I'm fine with being the extra that has one line.
Yeah, but you'd want a line.
Right, like the waiter at a restaurant that's being like, women, and pours a drink,
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. DiCaprio, your steak is overcooked. Cut! His name, I know his name's not DiCaprio. Yes, it is. This is Leonardo DiCaprio right here.
DiCaprio. I saw him. He was in the water with Kate Winslet. And bitch wouldn't let him on the boat. I am so sorry that she didn't let you on that fucking door.
How is this guy the director? He doesn't even know your name.
That's James fucking Cameron. Oh, he made Blue People. So what? What is this, Titanic 2? This is stupid. This is a stupid movie. Why are we even doing this?
You know what movie we should do?
I'll be in my trailer. You don't have a trailer.
Oh, well, I'll be in Leo's trailer because we're friends.
I'll be in Leo's trailer. No, you won't, sir.
I'd let you on the door.
Thanks, buddy. But yeah, just to be on screen in a big budget movie and have one line. That would be pretty cool. Then, and like I said, I think kind of for the whole experience, the experience of being in a movie, what that entails, being having a quote unquote line to say. So, how do I deliver it? What are they looking for? Something like that. And the experience of being on set, possibly with some sort of celebrity. And I don't even necessarily have to talk to a celebrity or anything like that. And that's not, where I'm getting my rocks off here. I think it's just the experience of being on a movie set, doing a film, and then like I said, like a big budget film, being on set, being in a scene, and then having a record of that. So if I see that, I can always call back to it in my head.
I had that on my list.
Of what the whole experience was like.
I had that on my list because I think that'd be cool. If you're on there for a day, you can kind of see just like how the sausage is made. You get to deal with like the craft services. You get to like I'd be the dude walking up and like, oh my God, they have shrimp right here on this thing. I'm gonna take this whole bowl and this is so good, Leo. You gotta try some of this. He's like, why are you sitting at the main table. You're not supposed to be here. Oh, well, I didn't see my name anywhere. Yeah, that was for a reason.
Yeah.
Extras eat on the curb.
Oh, okay.
Did I tell you this is my bucket list item?
I have cancer.
Oh God, get away! Is it contagious?
That's where you just lie and be like, "This is what I wanted to do before I go to surgery. I'm shaving my head tomorrow."
I don't think they shave your head.
Oh. Oops.
Be like the Always Sunny. You'd come in with a skull cap, or you'd shave your head, but you'd have your beard.
That's how it works, right? This is how the cancer happens.
It leaves the beard and everything.
So that's my first pick. I would like to be in a big budget movie and have a line. Like I said, even just one line. Make sure that it's on screen.
I think that'd be
to
cool.
be in a. I don't want to be in a scene that eventually gets deleted.
No,
because
yeah.
then nobody's gonna fucking believe me.
No, yeah, this would be like it'd want to be on the big screen. You'd want to be credited and all that kind of stuff. No, I could definitely.
Waiter number 5.
Yeah,
that would be me. I want to be waiter number 5.
That's a good first pick.
Thank you.
That was actually, like I said, that was on my list. Let's see. So for my second round pick, Richard, this is something I kind of did on my own recently. But would love to experience it with. I know we joke a lot about my dad and stuff but he's the greatest guy in the world in my opinion. We did a Father's Day episode. And you could tell by just the interaction there that he's a great guy. When I was younger, he did take me on some hunting trips. I never got to shoot anything though, but it was still a good experience.
Right.
But recently, I got to go to Alaska without him for a fishing trip. And I would love to go, and this would be my second round pick, to go on this type of fishing trip with my dad. So this would be kind of like out to Alaska, like a week-long fishing trip or, fishing for salmon, fishing for, anything up there, getting to kind of see the wildlife, just having that time away where, because, when you're up there, you're pretty much cut off from everything. So just to have that, like, hey, sitting there fishing pole, it's kind of the equivalent of like playing catch with your dad.
Yeah.
But like my dad was never like a big summertime fisherman. Like he didn't really like to be out in the hot sun, and I'm the same way. But in Alaska, it's cooler, so you're all bundled up. You're just on the shore fishing, and you'd be like, "Oh God, bear!" That's the only big thing you have to worry about.
Yeah. And then it would get dark, and then you guys could fight vampires together.
Yeah. Oh, that's the ultimate bucket list.
Right. You're like, Dad, take this. And he's like, because he didn't watch a lot of like vampire movies and stuff when he was a kid. And then he's like, what am I supposed to do with this? Stab it in the heart.
Dad, you're like Angel and I'm like Buffy. Oh, this got awkward.
Cool. I'll be Angel and you be Buffy. So what do we do now that we killed everything? Now we're supposed to make it. Oh.
Is Buffy like a badass dude? No, she's a girl.
But she's badass.
He took me all the way to Alaska to make out with him.
I knew it, Laura. He was just wanting to get me alone. And what could be more alone than the Alaskan wilderness?
But I mean, as my dad's gotten older, he's kind of gotten a little softer in age, and him and I are both, I think, are kind of emotional at times. But I think it'd be great to have that time away where we can talk about just him growing up, life in general, and just that's something that you get the pictures, you get the time away. It'd be something that you would always remember, and to be able to remember with him, I think would be really awesome. So for my second round pick, I'm gonna pick go on a big fishing trip with my dad.
That's nice. Isn't that nice? Come on, everybody. Isn't that sweet?
Aww.
That's so sweet. Plus, you get to fight vampires. I want to write that in. That's going to be a write-in pick. Fight vampires with my dad. All right.
You want to go to a Mexican bar, and you want to go to a bar in Mexico.
For my second round pick, this is something that I think it's just kind of more for me. It's not really like a person, it's kind of like a personal triumph. Like, oh God, remember that time I did that. This one's just for me. My second round pick, Shawn. Shawn, how much do you like your job?
I love my job.
Yeah, I know you do. For my second round pick, so do I. For my second round pick, I And I'm not talking about the job that I currently have, but just anyone in general. For my second round pick, I want to quit my job like a badass. You know what I mean? I want to be that guy that's like, you know what? And stand up and be like, fuck this and fuck you and fuck you. And I want to hit my boss with like a keyboard and be like, fuck this, I'm out. And storm out and be like, I'm taking this plant. And like rip the plant right out from the roots. Like I want to be that guy that's like talked about as a legend from at the place you work at years later. Like remember that time that one dude just stood up.
You ever heard the story about Richard? Oh, sit down. This is a good story.
Oh my God!
Wait, any of the bosses around? All right, listen. He did exactly what all of us want to do.
Yes, it's that thing that everybody always wants to do, but nobody ever does. That's what I want to do. That's my second round pick. I want to be able to quit my job like a badass.
So do you have any specifics besides like I know the only thing with this is like you couldn't really do physical harm to somebody because then you get arrested.
Right? Like yeah. But
like
I want to avoid jail.
You just want
so I'm not exactly sure what that would entail. There's going to be a lot of yelling. There's going to be a lot of telling people exactly what you've thought about them for years. And then there's probably going to be like a lot of like busting out the gossip on other people.
There you go.
Be like, oh yes, Cindy, remember when you were telling me about how Sharon used to fuck the boss in the break room?
Guess what? Well, I was the boss.
I did it twice.
Wait, you had sex with Cindy? No, I had sex with the boss.
Finish in the microwave.
The rumors are true. Steve likes dudes.
Finished in the microwave. You always thought it was because Tammy was fucking microwaving fish. Nope, that's not fish. That was me.
Yeah, and that would like the aftermath you would leave for that. Like, you know, you tell your boss exactly what everybody already thinks of him.
Yeah,
he's gonna be thinking about that for years.
Right?
It's like, wait, I'm not really.
By the way,
I
don't know if you know this, but everybody thinks you're a terrible person. Like everybody, because you kind of are a terrible person. Let me list out the reasons why, and then unfurl your sheet.
He goes up to close the door. It's like, no, Greg, leave the door open. I want everybody to hear this.
For my first pick on reasons why you're a complete and utter douchebag.
No, that's a good pick. I like that one.
Quit your job like a badass. That's like you said, it's the thing that everybody wants to do, but nobody ever does. And then you know, like say it's, 5 years go by or whatever, and you sit there and you say to yourself, man, remember that job I really hated 5 years ago? Like, why didn't I just, all of a sudden just be like, you know what? Fuck this. And then like, I could have said this, I could have said this, and you didn't. And you don't, and 5 years later, you're like, why didn't I?
Yeah, but now
why didn't I
just because it's on your bucket list.
Now I have to.
You're gonna be like, hey, Shawn, I need to talk to you about our podcasting. Fuck this, I'm done. No.
You know what, Shawn? Let me tell you a few things. For my third pick,
start a good podcast. All right, Richard, for my third round pick, this is one I feel is pretty achievable. I'm kind of surprised I haven't done it yet. It's just I just haven't I guess I haven't really got the opportunity to do it yet. But we all know I'm a huge baseball fan, right? Like anytime we go on a trip, like what's the first thing I do? I'm like, hey, you want to go to a ball game? Because there's a stadium like 10 minutes away from our hotel.
Yeah. Because
I like to hit up all the stadiums I can. Because one of my goals in life is to see a ton of stadiums.
That's true. Every time we've gone, every time you and I have gone on a trip together, there's been a baseball game involved.
Yep. Tiffany and I have done that when we were driving to DC. We drove back and stopped in Cincinnati just to see a game. But I want to go to it's a small town in New York, Cooperstown, New York to be exact.
Okay.
And I want to visit the Baseball Hall of Fame.
That's fair. I would think that'd be fairly attainable.
Yeah, it should be. I've kind of I probably would have done it like in the last like 3 years maybe, but once I realized that, I'm going to have a kid along the way, I kind of want to wait and do it with him because I feel like baseball is one of those things that really makes me feel like a kid again. And it's kind of sad at times now because like the guys playing are my age or younger. And so when you get to that point, it's like, oh, like I'm like, should I really feel this way still? But when I go to a ball field and I see the grass, I see the balls getting hit and all that stuff, like I just get that nostalgic feeling. And I know the Hall of Fame isn't like something that's going to be this glorious, like I'm going to cry when I go see it, but it would still just kind of take me back to being like when I was a kid and just like had all these dreams of being a baseball player. And to actually experience that with my son would be awesome as well. It's super achievable. It's just you just have to drive up there. It's small town. I would like to go during like the Hall of Fame weekend. I think that would be sweet because that's where they actually induct the new class of Hall of Famers. But just going in general, anytime would be the main thing I'd want to do.
So is the item on your bucket list to just go, or is the item on your bucket list to bring your son?
It would be just to go. I mean, I don't know. It really depends if he really likes baseball. Like if he doesn't care for it, then
that's why I asked, because what if he hates baseball?
Yeah.
What if he's like, no, fuck you, that's an old man's game?
Oh, yeah, it is. He's like, well, where do you want to go? The Tennis Hall of Fame.
And you're like, shit.
Oh, that's on the other coast. But I mean, if he loved baseball, I think that'd be fun to do. Because I'd love to see like a 6 or 7-year-old kid, like my kid, go in there and see like all these things and like his eyes just light up. But But if he didn't like it, I mean, it'd be one of those things I'd like to go by. No, I'd probably take Tiffany with me. And she'd be like, oh, my God, he's crying again at a piece of wood.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time I've cried looking at wood.
I want to talk about it.
But my third round pick, Richard, is going to be visiting the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York.
Okay. All right. Actually, your pick has just inspired my next pick. For my next pick, or inspired me to pick this to pull this off of my list as my next pick. For my next pick, Shawn, I'm gonna take you to some not current events, but a story that I saw recently. So, Shawn, we're gonna talk about Disney World, and this isn't the oh my God, I'd love to go to Disney World. I have been to Disney World. Disney World's super fun. It's everything that you think it would be. And it doesn't matter what age you are.
I've never been.
I will say that.
I'll take your word for it.
It's exactly what you would think it would be, regardless of age. Like I would say that 12-year-old you can go, and the experience of 29-year-old you is gonna have. It's gonna be slightly different, but there's gonna be the same kind of feelings. But Shawn, there's a story that big story that. For Disney World, they're building a whole brand new park. And Shawn, the entire park is going to be Star Wars themed. They're doing basically a Star Wars theme park. Shawn, I have to go to this. I feel like this should be something at the top. I should have picked this first, but I was like, no, let's go with some other stuff first. But this is something that needs to happen for me. As a person to feel complete in the world, I need to go to this Star Wars resort.
Well, like we talked about before, like how I get nostalgic about baseball. That's like Star Wars is comparison like that. My baseball is your Star Wars is my baseball.
Yeah, but see, you notice that when I described that entire thing, I didn't mention anything about bringing my kids. You know why? Because I don't care. I don't care. Not a bit. Like, they can stay home. They can go somewhere else.
Your son's like, Dad, I want to go. You're like, sure, if you want to. I don't care. I'm going.
Yeah. I'm there. I mean,
I just got to make sure Shawn's going to be there too. What? Why Shawn?
Throw the money together, I guess. I don't know.
So what would it be? I mean, I know they talked about like a Millennium Falcon. They talk like planets.
There's a Millennium Falcon. They're doing a walk-through Millennium Falcon that you can walk through it. Shawn's the Millennium Falcon, and it's going to be built to spec. Yeah. Like it's going to look and be exactly like you will see it on the screen, you're going to walk through it.
Will they let you sit in like the driver's seat and the captain's seat?
You know what? I don't even need that.
Oh, really?
I don't need to sit in Han Solo's seat to be like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like just to walk through it. I'll tell you what though, it would be pretty sweet if I could walk through it without like a crowd. Like I don't know if I necessarily want to be in like a line of people walking through it, because then it's gonna feel like a museum kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I would love to be able to just walk through it by myself.
That's kind of like, it's probably the same thing I feel about the Baseball Hall of Fame. Like if you go like during the Hall of Fame weekend, it's busy. So like you want to go, like I would probably more realistically, is when it's kind of like nobody's there.
Right.
Because then you can stand there and like look at stuff and really appreciate it. But if it's crowded, it's gonna be like, okay, walking in. Okay, look real quick, snap pictures. Oh, I got that dude that's been following me the whole time in the pictures, and then you're done.
Yeah. Oh, I don't need to sit in the seat, but it would be cool to walk through there. Ideally by myself, but I don't see that happening. But to like walk through with like maybe just like not a gigantic ass line.
Yeah. Would you want to be able to spend like an hour, 2 hours in the Millennium Falcon, or?
I'd be cool with an hour. Like walk around and like look at all the little props laying there and like see all the little buttons and switches, and
that'd be pretty sweet.
Maybe just touch it. Just touch stuff.
Would that be the main thing you'd want to see is the Falcon, or was there something else that would be like
that would be one thing. There is one other thing, and this also like got me all like, Shawn, they're doing a hotel on the park. There's a hotel like a resort on the park. Okay, and so the resort is, of course, the whole thing Star Wars themed. Shawn, you can have like a role-playing weekend where you go there, you go to the hotel, and they give you like a name, and then you play out that character in the Star Wars universe for the whole weekend.
That's awesome. So it's kind of like one of those dinner theaters, those what the hell? You talked about it before.
Like the murder mystery things?
Mystery theater, yeah. Or dinner.
Yes, and there's like a whole plot line that you apparently like follow in character.
So it's like the first steps of a Westworld.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like Westworld, but it's Star Wars.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I could get behind that.
That needs to happen. I think it's going to be finished. I don't know how long they said it was going to. I think they said it was going to take like 4 or 6 years for them to build the whole thing.
Okay.
Something like that. It might even be longer. I'm not sure. But yeah, before I die, that needs to happen. I need to go there. I don't care if I go by myself. I don't care if I go with people. I mean, it'd be nice to go with people, I guess. I don't know. I don't really care.
If they're there, they're there. If they're not, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. If they're there, it's just it's less people that I have to show pictures to later. And this is when I was on the Millennium Falcon, and this is when I touched a helmet, and this is when I fought a Jedi.
And this is where I went off script and killed Darth Vader.
Amazing.
All right, sir. Well, I'm your lawyer, and you literally killed a man in a costume, so you've admitted it to me and have photo evidence.
I didn't think it was possible to beat a man to death with a plastic tube, a plastic fluorescent tube, but I'll be damned, you did it. I was enthusiastic. Yes, I'm sure you were. You seemed very enthusiastic, sir.
So the insanity line, that's what we're going with.
Like how cool that, like you're walking, like there's gonna be different, things built according to like the way the movie sets were and stuff like that. So it's going to be like, Mos Eisley Spaceport and shit like that. You can go to the cantina and order blue milk.
Awesome.
Oh my God, Shawn. It sounds so amazing.
I could get down for that. Like, I mean, I'm starting to get more into Star Wars. That's something that I wasn't into it when I was younger because nobody I knew really was. And so I always felt like I had missed the boat for it. But since seeing Force Awakens and getting into the comics and the Rogue One, like I'd totally be down for it.
Before I die, that needs to happen. I have to go there just have the experience. That is something that I feel like, when you go on vacations and stuff like that, it's always, oh, you don't need to spring for the VIP package and this is a way, these extras are a waste of money and things like that. I would be totally fine with paying extra for like a specialized tour of the place, or like a guided tour and shit like that. Like that would be amazing.
Yeah, that's like one of the things you just spend as much money as you could like to get the full experience, because it's like, oh well, it costs I don't know what it'll cost, but like it's $3,000 for me to go just for the normal thing. It's $6,000 to like have the VIP package. It's like you're gonna regret not spending that extra $3,000 to see all that
Exactly.
stuff, because that is kind of up to that level is kind of a once in a lifetime thing.
Right.
I like it.
And I'm sure it would be one of those things that like, oh my God, I'd love to, go back or whatever. But if I did it once and did the whole like VIP, blah, 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 take my money. Just take it. It's just money. If we're talking about this, it's just money. So yeah, there's my pick. I want to go to Star Wars World.
I like it. All right, so for my 4th round pick, Richard, this one seems like it might be a little bit more difficult to do, but that's why it's kind of a bucket list item, I guess. But you and I both love movies.
We do.
You and I both love midnight releases to go see movies.
Yeah.
Richard, what would be better than going to a midnight release for a movie?
I guess going to like a premiere, right? Because then you get like, you go to a premiere, you get like the red carpet and all that.
Yeah, for my 4th round pick, Richard, I want to attend a red carpet premiere of a movie. So this is like, Guardians of the Galaxy, they're opening in, Thailand or Japan.
Okay,
where they opened
so
it.
that's what I was going to ask. Are you wanting to go to a country premiere or a world premiere? Because, movies open in different markets at different times. So do you want to go to like the world premiere where this is the first time it's going to be seen on screens, or are you wanting to go to like the US premiere where it's, let's say it opened in Europe and now it's opening in the US, or go to a London premiere where it's the movie's been out for like a day or two in the US, but now you're going to the London premiere?
I think I'd want it to be at least, so, I mean, it wouldn't necessarily have to be like a world premiere, because I know sometimes they do like overseas first and then they'll do in the States.
Right.
But I'd want it to be at least the first time anybody in the States has seen it. So if that means I'm overseas to see it or it's opening here. But I would want it to be like one of the very first times it's being shown, like the first time to the American market at least. Where they have all the stars there, they have, all the interviews. They probably have like a big Q&A thing probably at the beginning or at the end. I'm not sure how. I don't know how they work.
I have no idea either. Would you want to be now the way a lot of those premieres go is you have the red carpet and then there's all the press there and they're talking to people on the red carpet and then everybody goes into the movie. Do you want to be on the press side where you get to like just hang out and see everybody, see like all the all the stars of the movie walk by and maybe they stop and and talk to you for a second or sign something and then you go in and see the movie with them? Or do you just want to be somebody that is able to walk down the red carpet?
I think I could take any of it. I don't necessarily want to walk the red carpet, but if like that's the way I get to do it, like I get to walk the red carpet, that'd be awesome. If it's getting to do press, I could do that. If it's just being like in the crowd watching them come in and then get to go in, I'd be fine with that too. The main thing I'd want from that is to being able to go in there and see that movie and kind of see the festivities at least. So if I'm a part of it or interviewing or just seeing it, any one of those would be fine with me.
So it's more just you want the experience of a world premiere just to see like what it's about.
Yeah, exactly. Like be there to see the festivities as it's getting kicked off. To they usually do like pre-festival type stuff beforehand. They usually have like cool like signs and like all kinds of get up for it. And so I think getting to see that and experience that would be pretty cool.
Okay.
So for my 4th round pick, I'd want to attend a red carpet premiere of a movie.
Okay. All right, Shawn. For my next pick, this is what I like. I like to think that I'm a charitable person, or I do think that I'm a nice person, but I don't know if I'm necessarily a charitable person, or I don't feel like I'm as charitable a person as I could be. So, Shawn, for my next pick. This is not something for me, but this is something for somebody else. But I would love to be the person that does it. Shawn, for my next pick, I would love to give a server a like enormously large tip. And we're talking like $500. Like I want to give just and I don't even need the fanfare of like seeing them react to it.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But just, the end of the meal comes, somebody hands me the check, and I just write down for tip. I just put like $500 and then leave. And then hope that that person's like, oh my God, they fucked up.
Yeah.
They meant to put 5. Now I got to put in 5. I got all excited.
You check your bank statement, and it's like, oh no, it was supposed to be. And you have to go into
no,
the
it's supposed to be the
awkward walk. Like, hey, actually, it was supposed to be $500.
Right. So yeah, I guess now now that I'm thinking about it, I probably would have to stay to make sure that they put it in right,
or maybe leave cash. But even then, they might be like, oh, but they may leave $5, not $500.
Yeah.
I've always seen. I mean, I tip pretty well. I think like my wife usually get mad because she thinks I tip too much at times.
Yeah,
but it's kind of one of those things like, like you get your hair cut, it's like $15 and you leave like $100 tip, something like that to be kind of just, it's very unexpected. Like again,
exactly,
fanfare for it.
Yeah, I don't need a Facebook clickbait story about me later. I don't need that. But just like I said, you eat a meal or whatever, and you just $500 on the table, and then they have it. And I mean, I say like, I talk about it like it's, like I'm doing something for charity or whatever. It's not necessarily charity, but just like a random act of
kindness, almost
of a large amount of kindness.
I've always wanted to do something like that too. I always thought like when I get older or something like that, if I had a little extra money or just ran into a little extra money.
Right. But it always seems like there's never extra money.
The only thing that keeps me a little cautious about that is like we've worked with some servers before that totally would not deserve this kind of like gratitude. And I always worry that the server I have is that person. Like you'd want to find that like that hardworking college.
You want to give
kid.
It to the nice server. You don't want to give it to the bitch server.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like the hardworking college student, or the hardworking mother of two.
Right.
Not the person who's going to cut out early once they get that money because like, hey, I made my money for the night.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I've thought about that a lot.
Damn. Yeah, how would you fix that? You'd have to like go in and have.
So if I left you a $500 tip, what would you do with that money? Buy booze. Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Next.
Hey, does this look like spit to you?
I need a different server.
Can you find me the single mom or the hardworking college kid and have them serve me?
That's how you book the table. Like you call and be like, table for 2, probably around 7:30. I need a single mother as my server, if that's at all possible.
If not, do you have like the hardworking college kid or the guy
do you have one of those? Or you're the hostess. I mean, who's a bitch? Not that person. I want. What servers do you not like? Maybe I'll just leave it with you.
Yeah,
I'll just leave it with you and let you figure it out. But yeah, like I said, like random act of unsurpassed kindness. Like you always hear those stories of man leaves woman $1,000 tip or whatever like that, and you see those things, and I'm like, that's kind of awesome.
Well, I like the stories when you see it's like, oh, this is the lady whose kid was just going through some kind of like procedure or something like that, or such and such happened. The money like you'd want like the money to really help them,
right?
Not just like, oh, awesome, now I can not work all weekend and go on a bender.
Right.
I mean, they'd be grateful for that. It's like a 3-day weekend, and
right. I mean, yeah, like I'm fine if there's a single mom that's like, I'm gonna take this $500 and I'm just gonna go stay in a hotel for a night and get completely shit faced and hook up with a random dude. Like, great. Like that's cool. Like I'm glad I could help. I'm glad I gave you a night of fun.
As
that's
she's hooking
awesome.
up with the strangers, like, would you give me a $500 tip?
Yeah, see, and then oh god, see, then that develops a whole cycle. So then she sleeps with the guy, and then that guy leaves her a $500 tip, and she's like, oh my god, I could totally make money doing this, and then she gets sucked into a world of prostitution.
Oh, I was thinking more of like as he finishes, he's like whispers in his ear, she's like, pay it forward.
I like your scenario better. My scenario makes me regret it.
Yeah. Mine just keeps the good cycle going.
I just made a call, girl. And then she does that, and then she, gets sucked into that world, and then, things don't work out for her at some point, and then she starts doing porn, and then I watch the porn, and I'm like, this is my fault.
You see an interview, and it's like, how'd you
She's like on a casting couch, and I'm like, no, this isn't what I wanted. This isn't what I wanted.
Like, I used to have a good, stable job as a server, and then somebody gave me a $500 tip. I took the weekend off, and one thing led to another. Now I'm here. Doing raw dog anal. Wait, isn't that a ship?
No. I was trying to be nice. Damn it. Well, I've already picked it, so there it is. Leave a server a big tip. That's my pick.
All right, for my 5th round pick, Richard, this is something that we've talked about doing, and I would really, really enjoy, because we've been podcasting for over 3 years now, and I think we're pretty good. I think we got it figured out a little bit. And I would like to
speak for yourself. I think we're terrible.
Yeah. Well,
I do this for the money. I don't know what you're in it for.
We have to talk about where that money's coming from.
Oh. I get tips.
But for my 5th round pick, Richard, I would love to do like a TED or a podcast conference presentation on kind of our show and all, just podcasting in general.
So you would like to fight for our show to a live audience?
Yes. I mean, we've been guests on shows before, and I've over the last 3 years become a little bit obsessed with podcasting because it's a fun hobby we have. We do it on different kinds of. I do another show. I've done one with my wife, and I've guested on a bunch of shows, and it's a lot of fun, and I like talking about it and trying to get more people to do it. And so I think getting like me and you again on stage to kind of present our story and trying to, motivate others to do a podcast, I think would be a great, great feeling. Because we've had people come up to us and say, hey, we started our show because of yours.
Yes.
And it's pretty cool.
And that's this weird feeling of you want to say, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
but then you're like, no, that's not what they want to hear. And you're like, that's awesome.
Like, I'm glad that you see that the bar is this low and you're going above it.
I hope you're so much better than me. I mean, that doesn't take much, but I know you can do it.
But the other thing I'd like to do, if we ever got to do a presentation, is do something like, because the thing we always get hit with is it's a 2 dudes in their mom basement podcast.
Yes. That's always the one strike and you're out against us.
So I would love to kind of show that that's not like, it's not just us making fart and dick jokes the whole time. It's like a friendship that's growing even stronger because of it, and show that, from hard work, dedication, and if you put in a ton of time, what you'll end up with is an archive of audio that nobody listens to but you and your friend.
Yeah, there is that.
But I still absolutely love every single minute of it. So
yeah, totally. I mean, it's one of those things that, like, oh my God, it would be great if there was like a brass ring, like a brass ring with dollar signs on it.
Oh yeah.
That I'm able to grab onto. But that's not why I'm here. That's never why I'm here. Like and I'm not saying that, we're just, shiftless, layabouts with no hopes of, with no dreams or no goals. Like there's totally goals that we're working towards to try and get, but
that's not what drives our show.
That's not the driving force. The driving force isn't an urge for success. The driving force is to, make good content.
Yeah, we're driving right to great content, and you know what? If there's an In-N-Out burger along the way, that's amazing and awesome. We'll stop.
Love what you do, and then we take pictures of you in a hat.
Yeah, this
is great.
That's the only time I've been to one, and I want to go again because I think it was freaking delicious. But for my 5th round pick, Richard, I want to do like a TED or a podcast conference talk presentation with my partner in crime, Richard.
Aw, that's so sweet. My next pick is not as altruistic. Well, I mean, no, it's not, but I don't care. It's mine. It's my bucket list. I'm the one that's going to die here, you bastard. Make me look bad. No, for my next pick, I would like to, like people always have like, oh, I want to travel. Like, I wish I could travel more. I'm not necessarily like, I'm into traveling. I am very much into traveling. I love doing it. It's one of my greatest pleasures is to travel to a new place, someplace that's unfamiliar. Shawn, for my next pick, I would like to not just travel to Europe. I want to live in Europe for just a short time.
Like
I don't need to a month or 2 or 3 months maybe. Like, I don't want to go and stay there forever. Not because I think that it's a bad place and like, oh, I'd eventually, but I would just to have the experience of, oh, that time when I lived in Europe for 3 months. I guess maybe, and I know this is kind of sad, but I guess now that I'm thinking about it, I guess it's like the plot of that movie Under the Tuscan Sun.
Yeah, kind of, but that's
shit.
All right. I know a girl that
I want to buy a house in Tuscany because my boyfriend left me.
I knew a girl that lived in Paris for a month, and that's just something that, like how many people say, "Oh yeah, I stopped working for a month and went and lived somewhere like exotic."
Right.
Like most people, I took
amazing.
a week off for vacation. It's like, no, I took 2 months off and I lived somewhere completely, foreign to where I live now.
Because it just especially somebody like say like like Italy or France or whatever, it'd be a 100% new experience. You get. And it's it's an all new experience, and you can get that if you stay there a week. But if you stay there a month, you get like immersed in it.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And it's and it's not just let's go to the Colosseum in Rome and let's go on a gondola in Venice. This is let's go to a grocery store or a market in you see like, some backwoods village in the middle of Italy.
Yeah, you're gonna see like the real Europe. You're not gonna see.
Yeah, you get to experience people, and you get to experience like the everyday things that like I think if somebody from Europe lived in the States, there are probably hundreds of things that I don't even think about that they would be like, oh, when they went back, then they'd be like, oh, there was this one time I was in America and we went to the grocery store and I found out that their meat is packaged differently, or just like these I think there would be like just like hundreds of little things that I would think about later on, like, oh, over there it's like this, but here it's like this. You get to probably learn a fuck ton of a new language.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think it'd be cool because, like you said,
and that's on top of all the bullshit touristy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, like after about a week and a half, 2 weeks, like you start becoming more of a quote local.
Yeah,
like, you become part of the culture to an extent, or you start feeling more of the culture. Instead of just kind of like the touristy side of it. So, no, I think that's a pretty awesome idea. I'm not a big fan of going overseas personally, but like I'd love to do something like that just in the States. Like if you
long as you wouldn't mind going as long as you can just stay to land when you're flying.
Yeah, they have to hug the
coast. So if you flew from the only way to get you to Europe is you're gonna have to go like across you're gonna have to go through Russia.
Yeah,
like migrate in reverse, like our ancient ancestors did. You got to go through the Bering Strait into Russia and then across Russia.
Safest way to travel. But I mean, you kind of did something like this when you went to California. Like California, I'm sure is fairly different than the Midwest. So you kind of see a whole different culture, living there for that time you did.
I did, yes, lived there for a decent chunk of time.
Like 6 months.
And about 6 months. And you're right. And there's like said, there's the big things where it's like, oh, they have a beach next to an ocean, and oh, they have, great weather and all that other shit. But it's just like the little things of, hey, I want to buy a sushi roll, then I don't have to pay $10. I can pay $2 during happy hour.
Really?
Yeah.
So why aren't we living in California?
Right?
Oh yeah, because everything else is expensive.
That's true. Fucking drought. Damn water bill. But yeah, it's just like it's the big things are big, but it's the 100 of little things that I feel would stick in your head and make for a completely rich experience. So there you go. There's my pick. I want to live in Europe for, I'll say, 3 months.
Okay. I like that pick. That's a good pick. So for my 6th round pick, Richard, this is something that I've never done, and it's a little bit foreign when like a lot of people don't think about doing this because sometimes people thinks it's a little weird. But
Okay.
Richard, for my 6th round pick, what I would like to do is I would like to go to a nude beach / nude resort.
Really?
Yeah, so I've never.
I find this is very I feel like this is very surprising. This kind of surprises me about you.
And I love that. Like, you know, I've researched a lot of that when I was like in college. So I was like, oh, that'd be just kind of neat to do. And you know, it's never like a sexual thing. Like, I wouldn't want to go to like a swingers resort where people walk around naked because they're trying to bang each other. Like, it's not interesting anymore.
No, yeah, now it's boring.
Oh, never mind. All right, my 6th round pick.
So for my pick,
but I mean, just to be free out there, just kind of let it all hang out, and just I don't know, being that like because it like people who are into like nudist stuff is like they're kind of odd, but it would I like to skinny dip. I've skinny dipped before, and I like that feeling of just being free in the water.
Okay,
and the sun on my bare tush.
So for you, is it because it just feels nice, or is it because you're trying to get back to more of a naturalist state?
I think more because it feels nice. Not really like I don't feel like being naked. Like I just watched it, and this kind of what brought me to it was.
Have you ever been naked outside?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it like so. It feels more like it's a risky thing a little bit maybe. Like it's something you're not supposed to do.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. So would you feel that way if you went to like a nude beach? Would you feel like, oh, this is so taboo?
No, I don't know. I mean, maybe, and that might be the thing. Is like you get out there and everybody else is naked and you're like, oh, okay, well, it's just kind of what it is. It's kind of like whenever you go to a strip club, it's like, oh, well, I mean, it's not as like, I don't know. Because I mean, like all the dancers are naked. So it's like, oh, okay, well, this is just kind of how it is. But if you're walking down a busy street and some chick's like, hey, look at my boobs. You're like, oh, God. Woo! I saw some boobs in a, crowded.
I saw boobies today. Put that on my bucket list.
But I think it'd be kind of a cool experience to see like what that whole environment is. And again, not like the dirty it's not dirty, but not like the swinger style clubs because that's not what I would.
Okay, although so that being said, would you check out other people?
It'd be hard to say you wouldn't. And
right.
That's probably why I'd get kicked out.
Would you? So you check out the girls? Would you compare with other guys?
No, because I'm pretty secure with how myself.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure there's gonna be some dudes, with a huge, stinking, massive thing, and then there'll be people that have a little bitty one, and there'll be ones with even smaller ones, which will be me.
There's Mandingo, then there's normal, and then there's me in the bushes looking at everybody else.
But I think that's the thing. I'm sure people still judge to an extent. Like it'd be hard not to, but there'd be less of that. And like I was saying, I'd probably end up getting kicked out. Like, hey, are you checking girls out? No. Well, what's that boner doing?
Now here's a better question. How do you react when you see other people checking you out? Like, what if a girl is checking you out and has like the look on her face,
like that?
Like, whoa.
I feel good about myself, but I would imagine that I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Nude resorts might be different, but I've been to a beach, Richard. I'm pretty sure girls don't check me out because even I think I'm in okay shape. But like my theory on guys is like unless you're like ripped, like I don't think girls are gonna check you out because it's like oh well that's just that's like your average.
That's
everyday
you.
Normal guy.
There you are, huh?
And like so, oh that's a big guy. It's a fat guy. And it's like oh god, that dude is. Woo, that dude is ripped. He has muscles on top of muscles. And I'm like...
I have no idea. Well, I've spent my entire life trying to get inside a woman's head, and what you just said, that's the closest I've come.
Because I'm over in the corner, I'm like, babe, can you help me open this umbrella? It's too tough. Girls don't check that out.
And then you have that face when you're trying to open the umbrella.
Yeah.
You have that face like, and you're naked, and so it just looks even worse.
Then you like, oh, stay out of the pool, sir.
Quick, catch it.
So for my 6th round pick, Richard, I want to go to a nude beach/resort.
Okay. Okay. So for my next pick, it's a small thing, but it would be cool. I think honestly the only thing that's stopping me from this is just an issue of money, because this shit is expensive. Shawn, for my next pick, I would love to get a tasting menu from a world-class 5-star chef. Now, if people aren't familiar with what a tasting menu is what a tasting menu is a chef at a given restaurant, when you order, because some restaurants do have a tasting menu. When you order a tasting menu, basically they take all of the dishes on the menu, or a majority of them, or a selection of them, or they come up with something completely different. And it's you usually get a long course list, say 12, maybe 15 courses, but all the portion sizes are probably about half the size, if not smaller, of what you would normally get when you're served a dish. So, say one of the courses is a I don't know, like a soup course. Instead of, a bowl of something, it's usually like a almost like an espresso cup.
I gotcha.
Of a given soup.
So it's more of an experience. You're getting like a full palette of different tastes.
Exactly. You're getting you're not only getting a full range of a selection of foods, you're getting a full range of technique. You're getting a full range of what that particular chef is capable of creating and producing. So to be able to go and pay for a tasting menu from like a world-class chef, like 4 or 5-star, like top tier, best in the world.
And like you said, it's like a 12-course meal. So I mean, you're going to be stuffed and pretty full, but
you're going to be full you're definitely going to be full by the end, but you're going to get all these little dishes of what I'm guessing. You're getting all these little dishes of fucking perfection.
Yeah.
And not only are the ingredients like the best and top of their game, but they're prepared with such care and love, and like you're getting the best of what food is meant to be.
This is almost to the extent like this is like almost an art experience.
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
Yeah. Tiff and I have talked about doing like definitely not this kind of style, but like sometimes Valentine's Day and stuff like that. There's a couple places near a lake here that'll do like 4 or 5 course meals.
Yeah,
it's kind of the same thing. It was like, okay, you can choose this or this. We're only doing 2 things, and it's nowhere near this.
Right.
But like, if you could take that up to this 5-star level notch, that would be. I can't even imagine what the price of it would be, but it would be a pretty cool experience because, like you said, you're getting the best of that chef, what he can do.
I've looked at some tasting menus. I mean, obviously not for like world-class chefs. I've seen some tasting menus run as high as $300 each.
I mean, it's not terrible. I mean, I was thinking so like a world-class chef, like you're looking at $1,000.
Yeah, you're probably looking at 5, 6. Maybe more. Maybe, like you said, like maybe, $9,000 or $900, $1,000.
So definitely something you're like.
Which when you I mean, when you put that in perspective, you're saying you're paying $1,000 for one meal. Yes, that sounds fucking crazy, but that's going to probably be the best meal, not only the best meal of your life, but the meal that you're going to remember and then talk about and be able to just like it's going to be an experience. It's going to be like going to it's going to be almost on par with going to a Star Wars resort.
No, for sure. It's like a once in a lifetime kind of thing. I mean, there's people who do that all the time, but
right. Yeah, and I think that's the thing with me is this would be a thing like I would want to do once to be like, I did that and that was amazing.
And
let me tell you about this.
If it's worth it, like most expensive, I think, meal Tiff and I have ever gone to is kind of a smaller restaurant where they had like you order from a dozen things, and like they were like really good, like well prepared type things.
Uh-huh.
And I think it ended up costing us like 150 altogether. So not on par with this, but
Sure.
still, like you ate that, and it's like, okay, we just spent $200 maybe counting tip on this meal, but everything was just so delicious, and like yeah, we're not doing this all the time for sure, but doing it once in like a 10-year period is worth that experience.
Yeah, I'm all for like I'll throw down. I've thrown down over $100 on a meal for two. I've done that more than once, and I'm happy to do it because like food, like. But I can probably tell you if I think about it hard enough, I could probably tell you exactly for a majority of those meals. I could tell you what I ate, what my wife ate, and how everything was.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I guess consider that is the fact that the last meal that I spent over $100 on, I could probably, like I said, if I think about, I could tell you what I ate and how it tasted.
Yeah, because at that point, it's not a meal; it's an experience.
Exactly, and I'm totally happy to do that. It's for me. It's worth it.
Ooh, I really like that. That's something that would be cool to do.
Yeah, we could do one together. By candlelight.
We probably have to not tell the wives about it because they're like, "Wait, you went to do what with Shawn and didn't bring me?
You went out to dinner? It was Valentine's Day, you son of a bitch." It was our anniversary. No, I know it was our anniversary. No, I meant it's our anniversary. Oh, I got it mixed up.
I thought every day was Shawn and I's anniversary.
I thought
it's day.
I was like, hey, my anniversary's coming up. I thought it was Shawn. It was the one with you.
Oh, well, maybe next year, babe. Sorry.
I'm gonna go podcast now. Bye.
All right, Richard. For my 7th round money shot pick, this is something that it's for both of us. I think I would say, but I guess I always feel like I want some kind of recognition, especially for everything we've done with the show and everything. It's kind of just be like, oh, we've done it to an extent.
Yeah,
but I would love for our show to win a podcast award.
That would be nice.
Like it wouldn't have to be a huge fanfare, but
it doesn't need to be like the Oscars of podcasting. Yeah. But I think it's more you're just wanting someone else to say, "Hey," and we get that. I mean, don't get us wrong. We're not like, "Oh, nobody likes us." Like that's not what you're saying. You're saying that you would like somebody to be like this. Let this be a representation of people liking what you do.
Yeah, and probably more like the podcast community, like other podcasters. Because like,
yeah,
the LOB Army is great. Like we've got a very solid listenership. But again, it goes back to earlier where it's like it's the two dudes in a basement. Like we go to Podcast Movement, and it's like, hey, we do a podcast on helping cats that have Down syndrome, and we're like, well, that's amazing. We do a show about dicks and farts.
There was this one where this guy bit this other dude in the dick.
It's kind of the same thing.
Oh my god, this is so
great.
Where
are you going? Oh, guess no award this year.
Oh, damn it.
But it'd be cool to have something that, you and I, like, that would be the thing, like, we accept it, go on stage would be awesome if it was that extent. Even if it wasn't just us getting to hold this thing and take pictures together. It's kind of like, I've got a few awards from high school when I played baseball, which are kind of cool. Like, those are like, oh, in high school I was, at least good enough to get a plaque, with this stitching on it. It'd be cool.
And your walk-off home run. Don't forget the walk-off home run.
I did. You can find it on the internet if you look hard enough.
That's right. Get that Wikipedia page.
But it'd be cool to have something for you and I that we could say, like, okay, this, and it wouldn't be the like, oh, okay, now we're done. It'd be like, oh, okay, this is something nice. We're going to sit, take pictures with it, and we'll look back at it and be like, oh, that was kind of cool when we got that. So for my 7th round money shot pick, I would like for the Language of Bromance podcast to win a podcast award.
I like that. See, I feel like yours more involved the two of us.
A couple
and
of
mine and yours involved the two of us, but mine in my head, they're for me, But you could be there. You could be there for most of these. You could come to Disney World with me.
If you do, I don't really fucking care. But
you could come to the tasting with me. I mean, we wouldn't like you said, don't tell the wives about it. But we could totally do that. You and I could live in Europe.
That's true.
Oh my God! And then we could put on berets together.
Yes.
And then we come back with berets and little mustaches.
Like, Richard,
and she'd be like,
the fish and
"Where were you
chips
for the last 3 months?" I'd be like, "Oh, I shall never tell."
Oh, oui, oh. I need a croissant.
Shawn, for my last pick, this is something so I feel like for the last pick I should pick something that I do want to do with you. And for my last pick, it's something that I have done already, but I would love to go with friends. Shawn, for my last pick, I want to go back to San Diego Comic-Con.
Ooh.
It's Mecca. It's Mecca. And I've experienced Mecca, and I would love to bring somebody else to Mecca and be like, Look at all of this.
This is where the nerds gather. Is this where they reproduce? No, God, no.
Oh, no. I mean, unless you want that Wonder Woman over there. That's a dude. Oh. Well, unless you want that Wonder Woman over there.
Yeah, I mean, that would be, I think that's kind of like, you've seen it, so like getting to see somebody else experience, like, oh my God, it's so much bigger than what I expected.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff. And then do panels. Like, you get to see like a trailer with somebody.
Yeah, you get to see panels. You get to see trailers. You would get to see a trailer for the first time. Now when I went, like I didn't go to any of the panels or anything because in my head I'm thinking like there's so much to experience. I don't want to wait in line for a panel.
Yeah,
I don't want to wait in line and get into a panel because
people camp for those pretty much, don't they?
Right. I don't want to wait in line for 6 hours to go to a panel. I would love to. I mean, I can't do that when there's so much else. And I'm crunching time, like there's a time window. Like I want to see all of the things. Mm-hmm. So I mean, just walk around the floor and be like, look at this.
Yeah, I mean, we've been to like a small, like the Kansas City Comic-Con, and
right.
It's a lot smaller, but it's still kind of like, oh my God, look at that.
Yeah,
I can only imagine what like San Diego Comic-Con, which is probably like 100 times bigger than that.
Yes, very much so. Stuff outside, there's stuff inside, there's and plus just like all of the people with all of their experiences and like, oh my God, I saw this for the first time, and I met this person at the first time, and I was walking the floor and I just ran into blah 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 and they talked to me.
They said, like, get out of my way, loser. I was like, oh, Nathan Fillion's a jerk in real life.
That's not true.
Oh, I didn't know.
That man is probably gold.
I think he is. I think he's probably awesome in real life.
Would love to do that. So, yeah, just like the whole experience and it would still, I mean, even though I've been there, it would be great to go back. It would be great to just go back and because it's going to be a completely different thing. There's new comics, there's new movies, there's new television shows, the focus of things have shifted to now we're talking about this thing. And so it's probably a completely different experience.
Yeah, I'd probably say so.
I mean, there might be some things that are similar in some small little ways, but it would be it'd be like a whole new experience that I get to go through all over again. And then I have my best friend with me, and then we get to go and see stuff together. And then it'd be like, oh, did you see that thing? No, but did you see that thing? Oh no, I didn't.
Would you split up, or would you want to walk around with me the whole time?
No, I'd walk around together.
Okay,
I don't want to split up.
That's what you have to do. Because if you split up there, you'd probably never find each other again.
Right. We'd have to tie ourselves together.
Like,
buddy!
I like your guys' costume. Oh yeah, it's
it's a leash. Yeah. So there's my money shot pick. And you know what? I think that's something that's halfway attainable. Like some of these things I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
that one's not too bad. I mean, like you said, you got your dad out there we could go live with or stay with.
Right.
Maybe live with. Does he have room for two of us?
Maybe. We'd have to get jobs.
No. You could be like, Dad, I'm sorry, but I got him pregnant.
Be like, "Tja, fool me once."
Well, what'd you have for some of your and buts?
Oh, I had quite a few actually. I had go cross country. I felt like that one was kind of general.
Yeah.
So I didn't really want
that one too.
like and when I say go cross country, I mean I want to tour the lower 48 states in like a big loop.
Oh, I gotcha. I would love to do that
You
too.
know? Like go in a big loop.
That's like
see every, see
old.
all the things.
Get old, retire, buy like a small like a do-it-yourself RV.
Yeah.
Like one of those small trailers.
Yeah.
That'd
Be
be
like
awesome.
that movie. What movie? Paul. Like that movie Paul with Simon Pegg.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Except we wouldn't have an alien on board. We might. I don't know. What else did I have? I'd own a motorcycle. Now I have owned a motorcycle, but I would love to own one again.
Okay.
That would be awesome.
I'm scared of motorcycles.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's a time in college I wanted to buy
You ride
one.
it with me and then you could hug me tight.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Like, oh, don't go so fast, I get scared.
Let's see, what else did I have on there? I had learn acoustic guitar and learn one song good enough to perform in public.
That's a really
like
good
I want to
one.
learn one song and then perform that song at like an open mic night or something.
No, I like that. So you would sing too, or would you have somebody else sing?
No, I'd sing too. So I'd play guitar and then I'd sing. And I don't know what. Don't ask me what song because I have no idea what song, but just a song. I would want to learn guitar and then learn a song and then perform that song. What else? What else do I have on here? Get a story published in print.
So
not just like, oh, I'm going to type a blog post and put it up there. I mean, like, I want to get a story, if it's a short story in an anthology or a book, but get something published in print that I could, that people would buy, a physical thing.
Get it featured.
Right. I had to sit front row at a concert. I've never sat in the front row of a concert.
Really? So even like a small venue, like you've never been up front?
Well, I mean, like if it's like a standing room only thing, yeah, I've been up front. But I'm talking like a big concert.
I gotcha. Like Guns N' Roses front seat.
Well, or whatever. Front row.
Let's see. So for mine, I had kind of similar to yours, but I would love to publish a comic. So I've worked on a few scripts. And I've worked with a guy.
And I've read them, and they're great.
Yeah, I had a guy who was kind of drawing for a little bit, and then he completely stopped talking to me.
Oh.
It must have been where I was like, and then the comic book writer and the comic book artist fell in love.
That's where you lost him.
Yep, commitment issues. That's what it was.
Every time.
I have See the Washington Redwoods. Like, I would love to see those big ass trees.
Oh my God, I have seen those big ass trees.
Like, to me, it's like you see pictures of people like driving through them. I'm like, they can't be that big.
No, they're that fucking big. They are that fucking big, and it boggles the mind. Like you drive by, like we went through. I mean, I don't think I saw the. I didn't see the Washington Redwoods, but there were the Redwoods in California, and we were in Northern California, and that's where they filmed. Well, the general area is where they filmed Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dude, it looks straight out of that fucking movie. Like, you watch Return of the Jedi, that's exactly what it fucking looks like. And it's to see it in with your actual eyes, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Those trees are enormous.
I just think it'd make you feel like just so small in the world. Like, you look up at space, you get that kind of feel. Like, there you'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm a insect in this world.
Yes.
I would like to go to Hawaii. I think there's a lot of cool stuff to see there.
Never been.
I haven't either. I've never been.
I'd be cool to. I think Hawaii is one of those places that I would like to visit. Like, there's places that like when I go and visit places that I always say to myself, like, could I live here? Like, that's always the first thing if I travel somewhere, I'm like, could I live here?
Yeah.
Like, that's always a thing. But I think Hawaii falls into this category of a place that I know I wouldn't want to. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't want to live there, but I would love to see it.
Yeah, I'd have to visit and see, because I mean, it's like perfect weather all the time. So it'd be tough to see.
That's true.
And the last and but I have, this is one I think is very achievable. I've never been to one I really would like to go to, is a drive-in movie.
Really?
Never been to a drive-in movie. I thought that'd be something cool to see before I go.
Oh my God, there is a drive-in. How far is it from me?
There's a couple pretty close to where we are. I've just never gone.
You should totally do that. Because that is easily attainable for you.
The couple here have like the dual features where they play one like kind of more PG-13 than like a...
Oh, that's badass.
So that's something on my list I'll probably definitely do within the next 5 years.
That's awesome.
But all right.
Don't lose your list.
All right, let me run through this list of picks first. I'll start with me. So for my first pick, I had do a podcast with Richard and Kevin Smith. My second round pick, I'd go on a fishing trip with my dad. Third round pick, visit the Baseball Hall of Fame. Fourth round pick, attend a red carpet premiere of a movie. Fifth round pick, do a TED Talk podcast conference talk presentation. Sixth round pick, go on a nude beach/resort. Seventh round pick, win a podcast award. And for Richard, for his first round pick, he had be in a scene in a major motion picture. Pick number 2, quit my job like a badass. Pick number 3, visit Star Wars theme park. Pick number 4, give a server a large tip. Fifth round pick, live in Europe for 3 months. Sixth round pick, tasting menu from world-class 5-star chef. And seventh round money shot pick, go to San Diego Comic-Con with a friend.
Yay.
Those are all good. Those are all fun. Like we need to team these up together and make sure we do them together.
We're doing them. We'll do them all.
All right, Richard, do you have any Richard's closing thoughts for our bucket list draft?
It's never too late to do things on your bucket list. Live in the now, and you can't take it with you.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before before I see that light and I go to it, let me do a little bit of housekeeping. Visit our website. We're at languageofbromance.com. Follow us on Twitter. We're at languageofbro. Email us at eatthebeaver@languageofbromance.com. Check out the LOB Army intelligence reports. Like us on Facebook. And go out and recruit somebody for the LOB Army by getting someone you know to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, or Stitcher.
And when you are on Apple Podcasts, go ahead and leave us a rating and a review. Tell us you like us. Tell us you love us. Tell us you hate us. Do all of those things. Give it, say, hey, I have this award in the mail that I'm going to send to you. Where do I send it?
We'll tell you.
We'll tell you exactly where to send it.
Oh, it's just a big box of poo. Well, at least I can cross it off my bucket list.
Yep. You're going on the mantle. Move over, pictures of my kids.
And if you want to join if you want to visit the podcast site on the internet should be on everybody's bucket list, go to thepodbros.com.
Yeah, because that's the podcast network that never makes you feel like you want to kick the bucket.
Yeah, there you go. Whew. And if you want to throw a little bit of money in our tip jar, like the big tips, like if you've got on your bucket list, you want to tip a podcaster really big, this is where you do it. And that's www.patreon.com/languageofbromance.
Because I'm just a single mother trying to get by, and Shawn is a hardworking college student.
Don't make me do those movies anymore.
Casting couch, here I come.
All right, was there anything before I close her out?
No, I have to hurry and do something on this so that way I feel fulfilled.
All right, well, that's all the Bromance we have for this show. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Richard.
And I say we eat the beaver. You know, that probably should have been on my list to eat the beaver before I die.
That should have been on my list.
I think you can do that. I think you can actually eat beaver.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe in Canada.
Canadian beaver. It's actually just pig. It's like Canadian bacon. Just ham.